I need the pictures. Here we go. Please, please dare to go where you fear, especially when working to make a dream come true. Rising above your fear helps you to realize that you are totally unlimited. And I learned this when I went to Afghanistan at the age of 22. Now, my inspiration to rise above my fears came from a shaman named Kali Baba, who taught me about Hindu mysticism when I lived in the mountains of Nepal. He would travel Asia with just the clothing on his back and a great faith in the universe. Everything took care of him, and I thought I should try this theory for myself. So I went to Afghanistan with $100 in my pocket, no credit cards, no promise of a job, and a one-way ticket. My dream was to see that people and situations can be positive wherever I go on the planet. Everything worked out, trust me. This was the first thing I saw when I was in Kabul. I landed in the airport. We like to call this the first-class lounge. The Taliban shot down this plane, and the government couldn't afford to get it off the runway. Great visual. Anyway, I went from Portland to Dubai by plane, and in Dubai I had to get out and take a taxi to Sharjah, an hour away. At the airport in Sharjah, the first thing I saw was a group of Afghan men with turbans and red beards and long tribal dress. They had cardboard boxes wrapped in tarp and string, no luggage. I tried to say hello to them, but they inched away from me, and it was funny because they were more afraid of me than I was of them. I took my e-ticket and went up to the desk and to get my paper ticket, and when I did, the woman at the desk said, you know, I've never heard of an e-ticket before. I don't know what you're doing. You don't get e-tickets here. You'll have to buy a new ticket for $150, and keep in mind, I only had $100 in my pocket. So I thought, okay, gotta figure a creative solution to get to Kabul. So I sat there for about an hour, and I saw my first Westerner, other than me, appear. And I said to him, I walked up and I said, you know, this is crazy, but I have to ask you if I can bump 50 bucks. Obviously you're going to Kabul because the only people here are doing that, and obviously you're going to work there. So he looked at me and he started yelling like he was my father, and he said, what the hell are you doing traveling the world with no money? And I said, you know, I will get to Kabul, it's my destiny. And we don't need anger. You don't need to be angry. So I turned around and walked away to find another solution. And he ran after me and grabbed me and said, no, 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 take my money, it's fine. So I flew to Kabul with him on the plane. I landed, and the Afghan who picked me up at the airport gave 50 bucks to the man, to the Westerner. And he was all taken care of. I only borrowed 50 bucks for 2 hours. He was terribly angry and stormed off, and we thought it was really funny by that point. Anyway, 2 weeks later in Kabul, I got my first job working as a journalist, writing about the Buddhist sites of Afghanistan. Here, it's kind of dark, but this is where the Taliban destroyed the world's largest Buddha statue. And I found it so amazing because I learned that the Afghans were actually hiding the statues and paintings of the Buddhist history so the Taliban couldn't destroy it. So the Afghans, even though they're Muslim, really cared about their Buddhist culture. This is amazing. Anyway, my experience with the Afghans is also another gift of walking past my fears to live in this war zone, right? Because they're the sweetest people on the whole that I've ever met. I would walk down the street every day and Afghans would come up to me, not knowing me, and take me off to their houses, offer me food, offer me drinks, and then like 2 hours later they'd offer me to like live at their house forever. So, you know, it was kind of interesting. Then, you know, after that Buddhist job was finished, I was hired by the UN. I was hired because I had a great resume, but also I was hired because I was there on the ground. And, you know, the UN didn't want to go through the hassle of bringing someone in from another country or, you know, paying for their ticket. I was already there and it was easy. So, you know, another reward of walking past my fear and going to live in that war zone, right? I was there and I got the job. Anyway, this is a mosque, but it's kind of hard to see in Kabul. It's also very dusty, you can see with the sun there. But anyway, with the UN, I helped to facilitate the country's first elections ever in the history of the country. So this means I got to see women vote for the first time. I got to see women run as candidates in the presidential and parliamentary elections for the first time. I even saw an old woman go to the ballot box with tears of joy because she was almost about to die in her 80s and she never thought she'd be able to make a choice in her country through the government. This is awesome. So anyway, here are women at the polling stations. You can see their feet, it's great. Anyway, with all these rewards of jobs and adventures and new life skills and learning who I really was, the best thing about it was my friends. These people are amazing, and You know, if you're afraid, please remember my story. You know, you can make your dreams happen. Just walk straight past those fears. And that's it. Thank you for listening.